my spooky friends, and welcome to Dairyland Frights, the paranormal podcast that covers everything spooky, creepy, and mysterious in the Midwest and beyond. And I'm your host, John, and today, one of my favorite guests from across the pond, as I like to say, is my guest, Liam, from the Spooky Shed podcast. Welcome, Liam.
Thank you so much for having me back, John. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, we had so much fun the first time, and if you haven't watched that episode, go back and watch it. We had a little bit of a paranormal thing when we were talking about some ghosts in England. You said maybe a chair moved or something like that. You had a little bit of an instance.
Yeah, that was in the shed. But I think we also, the main part of the episode, we spoke about 30 East Drive, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I've been there since.
Oh, yeah. So tell me about that.
Very, very strange place for many reasons. Because, as you know, the story is very, very famous, and supposedly it's the most haunted house in the UK. So I really. But then I'd also seen a lot of negative reviews about it, saying that it's all fake, nothing happens, it's the neighbours that do everything, sort of thing. So I was really intrigued by it, and when I went in, like the downstairs of the house, I felt like I could have been in my own house. Nothing at all. The upstairs, very, very strange, very, very weird feelings when I went upstairs. Don't know what it was. It might, like I say, it could have all just been in my head. I don't know, but it's definitely weird. There's a much noticeable difference in atmosphere from downstairs to upstairs. It was for me anyway. It's very strange.
Yeah. And we're talking about the Black Monk of Pontefract, right? Is that? Yeah. Anything when you're saying strange? Did you just feel like somebody's watching you, or what? What did you feel?
Yeah, sort of. It was just, I don't know. There was just a very weird atmosphere. It was like, so the way I describe it now, when there's something happening in my own house, what I say is I feel it was like there was somebody else there and you could feel it, but you couldn't see them. So I just felt very uneasy the whole time.
Yeah.
The weirdest part. Do you know what scrying is? So you're
yes,
staring
I do.
into a mirror. Yeah. So I tried that for the first and only time so far. Don't know if I'll do it again. So I spent time doing that, and I was just staring at myself in the mirror. And naturally, when you stare at yourself for that long, you see things that probably aren't happening. But to me, I was staring at myself, and my eyes looked to the left in my reflection, but I didn't do it. So that was strange and a very awful feeling.
Yeah. Wow. That's really interesting and creepy.
Yeah, it was.
So I talked to one of my guests from over in the he's in Ireland right now, but he was in the UK when he was visiting someone who went to it. He is with Strange States podcast. And he, though, I don't know if you tried this, but he tried, supposedly there's a little boy that likes to play there, and he rolled a ball, and the ball rolled back to him. Like a little kid like your kid would roll the ball back to you. And there was a number of things they were like, oh, it's the floor because it's an old house, and it's just doing that, or it's whatever. And he's like, no, he goes, I rolled it under the bed, just to see what would happen. Yeah. And it rolled back. And he says, I was the only one in that room. So even if the room is, let's say it's maybe not constructed correctly, and there's a little bit of a down hill kind of thing going, or whatever you want to say, that it's not even and whatever. He said, no, it wasn't like going up and then coming back. It would like stay there, and like someone stopped it and then come back. And he said he was just sitting on the bed, and he just was like, okay, this is really weird. And also, he saw shadow people there. He said when he was sitting on the bed and he was looking out in the hall, he could see like shadows passing. Anything like that? You see anything like that?
Well, yeah, there was a group of us there, and other people did see shadow figures. I never, whilst we were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like I say, it was just, I'd love to go back just like I said, just again, just to see if anything else would happen. Just because I'm still unsure on it. I still don't know how I feel about the place or not. It was very strange. Like I said, I think I probably hyped it up too much in my head. I probably got my expectations a bit too high. I think I was hoping for like things flying off the wall and everything.
Right, yeah, you think it's like something out of a horror movie where, look out, yeah, that's pretty amazing. I love that. Anything else? Any topics you've done lately, Liam, that you've been like really surprised at that kind of took you like, whoa, I didn't know that, or was really shocking? Any guest or something like that?
Lots. I mean, I used to delve into the aliens and true crime stuff and that a lot before, but now I'm not by any sort of choice. It just seems to have happened. I've just solely been stuck to the paranormal at the minute, and a friend of mine that Tommy from Let's Get Freaky, I always steal his little catchphrase of when you look into the paranormal, it looks back. And like, well, just since we last spoke, obviously the more that I've spoken to people, the more stuff that I've looked into, the more investigations that I've done, weird things just seem to happen to me now that never
like
used
what?
to.
Like what?
Well, stuff in my house. I can always hear footsteps in my son's bedroom when he's asleep, but luckily I've been told that that's nothing negative, so that's a good thing. I've been told by multiple people that my granddad is very often in my house, which when I say about I can feel somebody in there, but I don't know where they are. I like to think that that's him because it's never a negative feeling I get. It's always a positive feeling. It's a very bizarre feeling. I can never explain it. I can just be like sat on the sofa and then all of a sudden I'll just be like, somebody in here, but I don't know where they are. It sounds really strange, I know.
Yeah.
And then also I obviously since I've started doing investigations, I've got a bit of some bits of paranormal equipment now. So I bought some. The first thing I bought was some cat balls, and two of my friends that are mediums, they were the first ones to tell me that my granddad comes to my house to see me, see my son, and they told me to talk to him, use the cat balls and talk to him. So I was like, right, I'll try it. I was still a bit. Not so much skeptical, but I was a bit like, yeah, okay, right. I'll humour you, sort of thing. So I put it on the shelf beneath my TV. I was just sat there, and I remember I was messaging him. I was like, do I have to say it out loud, or can I think it in my head? Because I don't think I'm ready to be sat in a room calling out loud to spirits and stuff. I was like, I'm not ready for that yet. And they were like, no, it's fine. You can just think it to yourself. I was like, okay. So I was sat there, just staring at this cat ball, and then I remember thinking the sentence in my head. So I thought, Granddad, if you're here, touch that cat ball. And before I even finished thinking them words, just started flashing and going off.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, that's something that has become more and more popular with paranormal investigators and everything, which I find interesting because I have a cat. And I've bought cat balls for it. I don't do an investigation, but when she's playing with them, I'm like, oh, I wonder, someday. That's interesting because again, I feel that too when I've done research on certain topics, right? You just feel like, is there something watching, or is there something in the house? Is there something trying to tell me something? That's just I love that. Of course, I don't want it to be really negative, like you said, things flying off the walls and
I don't want that in my house.
I don't want that either. Yeah, that's awesome. And I know you have a guest coming up from Weird, Wisconsin, so that's going to be great. You can find out more about our spooky state. It's just been really fun to talk to like you and Tommy from the UK who bring such a different perspective because obviously you're country is a lot older and a lot more haunted and has a lot more, I don't know, more special spirits and more special hauntings that really give you something to look into because of the rich history. So I love that. I told Tommy I got to figure that out. I could get over there and see you and Tommy, and we go on an investigation together, and hopefully nothing bad happens.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I love that. So speaking of that, shall we get into our topic today? We're gonna do the 20th creepiest urban legends, out of the UK. So I am a diehard fan of urban legends because urban legends are something that needs to be passed on, right? Or otherwise it just dies, right? It just dies. If you don't pass the urban legend over, it just, whatever. And these have stood the test of time, which I think is great. So they're in no particular order and stuff. So Liam, I was getting Tommy, excuse me. Liam, if you could, want to talk about them and, if there's anything that you're like, oh, I've heard about that or I haven't heard about that or anything you want to add to it, that would be great. So let's start, shall we? So the UK has never been shy about serving up unsettling tales and urban legends to prove that they just how weird things can get. These stories live in playground chatter, which is hilarious, and late night retellings and still manage to raise some eyebrows. So some hint at ghostly encounters, others lean into downright strange mysteries that make you question everyday places. Together, they reveal a quirky mix of fear and fascination that refuses to fade. So, the first one, and like I said, no particular order, the Black Shuck of East Anglia. So, have you heard of this one, Liam?
I have. Big black scary dog.
So beyond I'll give the spooky friends kind of a little background and you can add to it. Beyond the seemingly simple name of Shuck, derived from the Old English skooka, I believe, meaning devil or fiend, lurks one of East Anglia's most terrifying legends, the ghostly dog, prowling Norfolk and Suffolk, misty coastlines earned lasting infamy in 1577. Oh man, I love history. When it reportedly burst into two churches during a storm. So this has been around since the 1500s. The evil black dog, and it's been known to come into churches. Now this is started in 1577, this tale, which is crazy how long that is. What do you know about it? What has people said about this evil dog or black dog?
The main thing that I know about it, and I don't know which church it is, but I'm pretty sure that one of the churches where it's reportedly, like I say, burst into, that still has the original door, and you can see claw marks down it. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Wow. So I didn't do too much research on this because there's a lot of different things, and I would love to do a more in-depth, deep dive into it. My guess, what I've read is this black dog roams around, and if you see it, you're scared shitless and you just run away from it. So there's probably not a lot of people going, well, it was black and had fire come, you know what I mean? It's like if you would see this dog, you'd probably be like, oh, look at this dog, and then I'm out of here. Like, you're not gonna go up and pet it, right?
Well, I think from what I've heard and looked into myself, it's been a while since I've looked into it, but I'm pretty sure when I was researching it before, the closest thing that I could relate it to for anybody that's seen Harry Potter when Sirius Black obviously turns into a dog. I'm pretty sure it's like the descriptions I've heard are very similar to that. It's not so much like your standard sized dog, but it's not quite a werewolf. It's sort of somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much as I know. It is one I want to look into a lot more though, because it does intrigue me.
Yeah, that's really interesting, especially the church with the claw marks and stuff. Oh. Now, this would not be England without this. And the second one is the Highgate Vampire, right? You gotta have vampires in England. What are we doing? Shrouded in Victorian Gothic splendor, London's Highgate Cemetery harbored an otherworldly presence in the 1970s. The first signs manifested in sudden, inexplicable temperature plunges, followed by mysterious animal deaths throughout the grounds. Soon, witnesses began reporting a tall, dark entity with hypnotic red eyes. So, vampires, right? We could go on and on about vampires. Every country has vampires and stuff. Does this ring a bell? Has maybe been used to scare people from going into cemeteries so they would not be attacked by vampires?
Well, I've actually done a full episode on this. So,
right.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. So have you got the dates there?
No, I do not have the dates. It just said
sure it wasn't actually that long ago.
Yeah, 70s. That's all I got right here from the brief description.
Yeah, which I know surprised me because, like I say, stuff like that you'd think like 1700s, not the 1970s. So I think that was actually the biggest surprise to me. But I believe what started it, like I say, apart from the sudden temperature drops, if I remember correctly, because they have a lot of almost like catacombs there, and what are they called when it's like a big family plot sort of thing? I can't remember what they're called. But a lot of them got vandalized, and then I don't know. It must have just been like scaremongering. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I know a guy who was apparently quite famous for being a vampire hunter was brought in. I think his name was Sean Manchester. I think that was his name. I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay.
And he claimed to have killed it, but there was never any body or anything found.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Claims that he killed it. I like. Yeah, but like you said, so no body is found or anything. So I killed it. And, and I'm guessing there hasn't been any sightings since. I mean, again, I didn't do too much research into these urban legends, but this is another one I would love to look at deeper. Has there been any more sightings of this Highgate Vampire?
Not to my knowledge, but it's a very.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think this sounds like a strange thing to say, but it's a nice looking cemetery. It's not like a typical cemetery. It's just a field with lots of headstones. It's almost like a bit of a woodland area to it as well. So it's like I say, it's not a regular cemetery. So it does look quite nice as far as cemeteries go. But I'm pretty sure as well that at one point people were actually like trying to dig up bodies and put like stakes through corpses and stuff at one point. I'm pretty sure that happened. Yeah, just to make sure.
Yeah, right. You see a bunch of okay, bam. Yeah, now you're dead. Okay. So this is one of my favorites. There's been a lot of research on this. This is one of my favorite urban legends because it's funny, it's scary, and I have to say, it's a little silly. And that one is Spring-Heeled Jack. So, what began as a mysterious London sightings in 1837 quickly evolved into an enduring legend of Spring-Heeled Jack. It was described as a supernatural assailant with fiery red eyes and clawed hands who terrorized women. He reported ability to make extraordinary leaps over rooftops that amaze Victorian audiences. So Spring Hill Jack, is that something you're familiar with, Liam?
I've heard of it on another podcast that I listened to, but it was many years ago now. I mean, as soon as you said that, I was like, right, I remember the name, but I can't actually remember a thing about it until you mentioned. So you mentioned about the like jumping across houses and stuff.
Yes.
Then that started ringing a bell.
Yeah. So what's really funny about this story, and it's been done a lot, but I might do it anyway. So basically what it would do is women would be like, walking along, and this creature wasn't really a creature, it was a man with red eyes, and like he had like claws, and he would just come up, and he wouldn't assault the women per se, so he wouldn't do anything terrible to them. He would just kind of like grab them and be like, ha ha, blah, blah, and then like bounce away. And I'm like, okay, that's it? That's all you're doing? He never killed anybody. He never, like I said, did seriously harm anybody. Just would come up and scare you and just bounce away. And there are people, so they never ever found evidence of this person. They never ever solved this crimes. To this day, no one has come forward and said, it was my uncle. It was my Uncle Jake. He was a silly dude, whatever. No, nobody. So nobody knows. And it's just a weird thing because they have named coffee after it. Like there's coffee out there called Spring Hill Jack Coffee. Yeah, seriously. I don't know why, Leo. I couldn't tell you.
Well, I suppose it's not a bad idea to go down. I mean, if he's got the ability to like jump over houses, I suppose they can advertise it that their coffee will give you that much of a kick than you could do it yourself.
Yeah, so you could watch the World Cup all night long and be able to, stay up. So this is another one that I never heard of. And if you heard of this, please let me know, because I'm not really understanding why this is an urban legend, but okay. This is called the Hairy Hands of Dartmoor. Okay? Along Dartmoor's fog-shrouded roads, particularly near the village of Postbridge, drivers tell unsettling tales that has haunted a region since the early 1900s. They speak of ghostly, hair-covered hands that suddenly appear on your steering wheel, wrestling for control and trying to force vehicles off the road. Ring a bell at all? Because that one's a new one on me.
Yeah, that's a new one for me as well. I've not heard of that one. That sounds very, very odd.
Yeah, right? So you're driving along, right? And then all of a sudden these hairy hands grab your wheel and they try forcing you off the road. I'm like, all right. That's it? Well, that's bad, right? Because you're trying to grade, but I'm like, I would like to do more research on this one. There's so many. I would like to do so much research and so many episodes. And if you do it, Liam, please tell me, because maybe we could do something together on it, because it's such a ridiculous thing yet scary, right? You're just driving along and then something grabs the wheel and you're like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? So interesting.
I'm going to have to look into that one a bit more, I think, just out of pure curiosity.
Yeah, right? Because there supposedly has happened to a number of people driving down this road. So I'm like, interesting. So the next one is the Beast of Dartmoor. For Dartmoor farmers, the mysterious slaughter of sheep and livestock is a real concern that's got the whole Devon community talking. While some folks swear they spotted a massive cat prowling the moors, others reckon it's just someone's escaped exotic pet. So, yeah, there's some beast in Dartmoor running around killing sheep. What do you think this one? Have you heard of it? And what do you think this could be? Just, I don't know.
I
Lion?
think I've heard of it.
Okay.
But to be honest, if it's killing sheep, like I always like struggle with these ones. It's like chupacabra and stuff because like most like dogs can easily kill a sheep. I've seen it happen. Like my wife, her mum has 2 Siberian Huskies, and one of them, as I've seen, well, I haven't seen it, but she has it like fully annihilated a sheep, just dead.
Yeah.
Right, so
Right.
I don't know. It could, like you say, it could be anything. But then again, like with the mention of their cats and exotic pets and stuff, there's always been rumours that we have big wild cats over here, like panthers and stuff. It's that's always been a rumor for as long as I can remember it. My granddad always used to tell me that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that to me is really interesting. We hear that a lot here in the States because there's just something going on. Unfortunately in the States, we do have a lot of cougars and mountain lions and, bears and stuff and foxes. And so, you know what I mean? It could be like that. So anyways, pretty interesting. You got to have a beast, obviously. So
Of course.
the next one is the Green Children of Woolpit. Okay? In 12th century Woolpit, Suffolk, two strange children emerged with green skin and a language no one understood. They rejected every type of food except raw beans, adding to a sense of unease. Over time, the girl learned English and spoke of a twilight world, yet modern scholars point instead to poisoning or displaced Flemish origins. So they said that there's these kids and they're running amok asking for beans, but they don't really do anything other than that. And nothing has happened again. Does that ring a bell at all?
Yeah, I've definitely heard of this one. I'm pretty sure they were found in a woodland area, if I remember rightly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've again I could be wrong, but I think so because I've looked into so many things. My memory's terrible, but I'm pretty sure because I've listened to something about this before, and I'm pretty sure one of the weird theories was that because, like you said, because it was down in Suffolk, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm that's not a million miles from the coast. So I'm pretty sure a theory that somebody came up with that again because they said like a twilight place that they came from like Scandinavia area. They came like on a boat somehow.
Yeah.
And because I'm pretty sure there's places that, like obviously there's places up there where it's like it's dark all year, dark all day, and then it's dark all the time, night all the time. I'm pretty sure that was a theory that somebody came up with. I don't know why that's mean they would have green skin.
Yeah,
to me, that's the biggest mystery, and that doesn't answer anything.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't couldn't tell you why they have green skin, other than maybe they're eating too many beans and it's getting their skin green. I don't know.
Possibly, it happens with tomatoes, doesn't it? If you is it carrot juice, isn't it? If you, I'm sure if you
carrot juice. Yeah,
if you drink loads of carrot juice, you turn red.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, it's just crazy that can happen. So let's stay with children, shall we? Because children can be a little freaky, even though they're fun. And this one is worldwide. So I'm sure you probably heard about this one, or at least of these children. The Canuck Chase black-eyed children. Strange things tend to cluster in Canuck Chase, I believe, where UFO sightings and paranormal activity share the spotlight with its most notorious visitors, the black-eyed children. These ghostly kids have been spooking locals since the 1980s. Black-eyed children, have you heard of that?
I have. I didn't
Yeah.
know we had them over here because most of the stories that I've heard are from over your side of the pond. But so that's something else to keep me awake now on a night.
Yeah, yeah. And remember, here's a tip, folks. Everyone, please listen. Do not open the door when black-eyed children come to your door, because something bad is going to happen if you let them in. So don't do that. But again, if they're children, I mean, I know it sounds silly, but be smart about it. I mean, like,
Yeah, exactly.
don't freak out because a couple of children show up at your door and you're like, oh my God, John told me not to open the door. Like, no, come on. Be smart, people. So, yeah, that's a really interesting story. Yeah, that's something to look into. Here we have them more. We've had people claim they've seen numerous black-eyed children who have shown up at their doors, who have shown up like knocking on their car window, have showed up in just like a parking lot where, like you just go in to shop and like the black-eyed children will come up to you and talk to you very strangely and ask if they could come home with you. And they never say they're hurt. They never say they're like, where's my mommy and daddy? Nothing like that. They're just like, can I come home with you? And you're like, where's your mom and dad? And you're like, can I come home with you? And you're like, well, okay, why don't you come with me and we'll find, your mom and dad and everything. And then when you try to do that, they disappear, or they just walk away, I should say, not disappear, but just walk away. So that's really interesting. So let's get back to vampires, shall we? The Glasgow Vampire. In 1954, children in Glasgow, Gorbals district, turned whispered playground rumors into a full-blown hunt. Stories spread of an iron tooth vampire haunting in the southern necropolis, and soon scores of young hunters swarm the graveyard. So Glasgow, that sound familiar at all? That's a vampire hanging out there.
Heard of Glasgow? I've never heard of the Glasgow Vampire, I must admit. So that again, that's one I'm going to have to look into again, because I think what was it 1950s? I mean, that's not
1954.
It's a while ago, but it's not. It's fairly recent compared to some stories anyway. I'm definitely going to have to look into that.
Exactly. And, I'm not sure if we'll get to all 20. I'll put the link on the show notes when the episode comes out with Liam, so you can look at the rest. But there are other vampires on here all around the UK, Scotland, Ireland, stuff like that. It's pretty well known. So that makes sense to me. So this one I've heard before. I want to do a really deep dive episode on this because this is really scary. And tell me if you've heard this one again, Tommy. The Screaming Skull of Bettiscombe Manor. Does that ring a bell?
It doesn't. None of that rings a bell.
Oh, you haven't? Oh my God.
No.
This is the greatest. A Jamaican slave placed a dark curse upon Bettiscombe Manor in Dorset. No one could have predicted the spine-chilling consequences. Plus, every attempt to bury his skull, the owner of the manor, was met with screams and supernatural chaos. So this one is by far my favorite that I got to do a piece on. So basically, it's this skull that they've kept. I believe it's still at the manor house. If not, I think maybe they moved it, but I don't think you can. I have to do, like you, my memory's a little bit foggy on it. But the thing is, when they've tried to bury it, screams, I mean, just blood-curdling screams come from the ground, come through the manor house to drive people insane. So they just they cannot do it. They've tried everything. They've tried, I know this, they've tried blessing, they've tried to exorcise the skull, they've tried other scientific means to figure out what's going on, but most people say when they've done it. Two, some haven't heard the screams, but like the next day they get into a car accident. Now you could say coincidence, or the next day you know, maybe you go to a doctor's appointment and they tell you you're really sick and you've been fine. Like, it just seems like tragedy after tragedy after tragedy happens to you once you touch the skull and try to remove it from its premises, try to bury it. It's just horrible. And people too have gone, well, this is back in like 1900s and stuff like that. So believe what you want to believe. But the screams echo in your ears. All you hear is screaming in your ears. And then you have to go get this skull. So it's a really cool story. It's basically about Lord Betiscombe, and he would beat the slaves and treat them horribly. Like, no, yeah, that isn't a surprise. And supposedly he murdered one of the slaves. So this Jamaican woman who was one of the slaves, she put a curse on him, especially after I can't remember again. The memory's a little foggy whether she did it when he was alive or when he was dead, and that where I'm a little confused. But anyway, yes, this one is a crazy, crazy story. People to this day don't touch the skull, don't move the skull. It's in a glass case. I don't know where it is, whether it's still at the manor or in the British History Museum. I'm not really sure, but it's just, no, you can't do anything with it. Can't do anything with it. Cannot move it. So I still think it's in the manor house. And I still, if you go on Google and you look at it, it's crazy. It's just this old skull in a glass, encased in a glass box, and you're like, okay. It's a really cool story.
I'm gonna have to look more into that because that sounds really interesting.
Yeah,
and also really weird.
It's very, very weird and very interesting. So we gotta talk about witches, right? You always gotta talk about witches. So this one is the Wookiee, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, Hole Witch. So within the limestone chambers of Somerset's Wookiee Hole caves, there are different formations here represents the witch. So they have different stalagmite formations that look different. They actually look like humanoid silhouettes. And also, this calcite anomaly, known as simply as the witch, represents local folklore, identifies as petrified remains of the malevolent sorceress. So there's like these, different cave formations, basically, that looks like she was basically frozen in stone, like in a fantasy movie where some wizard or sorceress, boom, okay, now you're a big stone figure kind of thing. Yeah. So when you go to this lime cave, it is pretty cool. You can look at it again on Google. Again, all this will be on my social media and everything. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So have you heard of that? Have you heard about the witch?
I haven't. I've heard of the place, but again, I haven't heard of the witch. So again, it's another one I'm gonna have to look into.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat thing. I really love it. So this one I thought was really interesting. I've never ridden one of these. I'm sure you probably have ridden. Is the Phantom Bus of Ladbroke Grove. So this is unbelievable. I think that's pretty cool. I love haunted vehicles. So drivers on the Ladbroke Grove spoke of a terror with no timetable listed. A ghostly double-decker roaring into view, its headlights blazed, its seats sat eerily empty, and startled motorists swerved aside. First reported in the 1930s, this phantom bus still represents unease of modern transport. So it's a double-decker bus that basically comes out of nowhere, just comes right for you, And then, you got to swerve out of the way because you're like, what the hell? Why is this bus coming for me? So have you heard about haunted buses, especially double deckers?
Not that one particularly, but I have been on a haunted double decker bus. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
And what happened? Did you feel anything, or just people just told you?
No, so it was at one of the places that I've been to do. So, well, I've been there a couple of times now. So it's an old, it's called the Northeast Land, Sea and Air Museum. So they've got loads of old planes and loads of old cars, buses, trams, all that sort of stuff. And in the hangar where they have all the buses and trams and stuff, there is one. It's right in the corner. Again, to reference Harry Potter, it looks a lot like the night bus of that, which again sounds a lot like from this story. And there's definitely something on there. Like I say, there was a group of us again sat on there. You could hear things tapping on the window, tapping on the walls. You could hear people walking on the platform above. Very, very, very strange.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Mm.
One of the things too, which I love about haunted vehicles, is the fact that they can be so scary and everything, and that's what's so interesting, because you don't know what's going to be happening, right? Once you're on this place. Yeah, I love that. That's super cool. So the next one is the Lantern Man of Norfolk Fens. A lone whistle drifts across the Norfolk Fens, answered by an eerie reply. Soon a spectral light flickers in the mist. The dreaded Lantern Man, kin to Britain's Will of the Wisp spirit. So there's this, basically this lantern, and they see this specter when, like, the trains are going in and they're whistling and everything. It's pretty cool that this kind of replies with this lantern. So, have you heard of that one?
I started off so well, but again, I haven't heard of this one. I thought I got on a roll.
We got a lot of stories.
I'm going to know all of these.
Yeah, we got a lot of stories we can tell, huh?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Okay.
Now we're back in. All right. Okay. So that one was just really weird and everything, I think, because again, we don't know what that is, right? We have no idea. And I think that's really strange. Cool. Yeah. We have that here in the States too. We've had numerous, accidents, like everything in railroads and everything, that have been pretty terrible. And, you really see like lanterns flashing. A lot of train conductors have said, and engineers have said they have seen that. So that to me is really scary, to be going down the road or whatever and to see that. So yeah, pretty awesome. So now the next one, the Black Annis of Leicester. How do you pronounce that?
Leicester,
thank you. Near Leicester, Dane Hills, lurks one of the England's most chilling legends, a cave-dwelling creature whose blue skin might be seen almost beautiful until you noticed her razor-sharp iron claws. But Black Annis' true horror lies in her grotesque fashion choice. So she has this kind of like skin weird dress. It's a monster, but it's like a woman. It's kind of a woman monster. I don't know, but yeah. I don't know. To be honest, again, this is just basic research on it, but it sounds pretty damn scary that this creature comes out. Have you heard anything about this woman / monster with razor sharp claws?
Again, I feel like I'm letting you down, John. I haven't
No,
heard of this story.
no.
I'm gonna have to look into a lot more stuff here. I'm gonna have to make myself a list now.
Yeah, now we got a lot of good stories and stuff. Because again, the urban legends are one of those things. They're kind of in territory, right? And they're kind of so if you're not in that town, you may not know of them. Just like me, I don't know a lot of certain urban legends across different states, but I'm very familiar with the ones here. Obviously, I know the big ones like Bigfoot and certain monsters and cryptids and ghosts. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff that are really all over. And obviously, it's a big country, so there's a lot of things in there that are pretty interesting. So the next one, the ghost of Pendle Hill. Every Halloween, thrill seekers flock to Lancashire's Pendle Hill for ghost tours and spooky events, drawn by the area's reputation for eerie phenomena. The supernatural buzz traces back to the notorious 1612 witch trials that saw accused locals executed. So, how about this one?
I've heard of this.
Okay. Have you done a episode on it, or have you, what have you heard about it, I guess?
I've done an episode on the Pendle Hill witch trials. I've done an episode on that. That is very, very interesting and also very sad at the same time. And I've actually been to Lancaster Castle, which was where they were held when they were on trial. So that was very interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have the Salem witch trials and everything like that. That is horrible. Now, in your country, did they hang witches or burn witches?
A bit of both. I think the Pendle Hill witches. I think they were hung. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to surmise. I'm going to surmise over the years they did both. Unfortunately. Yeah, and that's it's unbelievable how terrible that is. So, let me ask you this, Liam. Do you have an urban legend in your area that you were told when you were a little kid that maybe you still remember? Well, not so much where I live. One about an hour or so away, and to be honest, I only recently heard about it, and it might be my favorite story ever.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, right. 2 seconds. Let me find it where I can read it because because it is so bizarre. Like I don't want to get anything wrong because it is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, and those are the best kind, right? Yeah. A little scary, a little fun. And then I can tell you mine once you get that up and running because we have some really good ones here. That always makes me laugh.
Right, I've got it. Yeah, so it's
awesome.
It's called the Lambton Worm. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm literally just gonna read this from Wikipedia. So the story revolves around John Lambton, an heir to the Lambton estate, and his battle with a giant worm in brackets dragon that has been terrorizing the local village. So the story states that a young John Lambton was a rebellious character who missed church one Sunday to go fishing in the River Wear. In many versions of the story, while walking to the river or setting up his equipment, John received warnings from an old man or a witch, depending on who tells the story, that no good can come from missing church. John does not catch anything until the church service finishes, at which point he fishes out a small eel-like creature with 9 holes on each side of its salamander-like head. Depending on the version of the story, the worm is no bigger than a thumb or about 3 feet long. Christ, how big are people's thumbs back then? In some renditions, it has legs, while in others it says that it's more closely resembles a snake. At this point, the old man returns, although in some versions it is a different character. John declares that he has caught the devil and decides to dispose of his catch by discarding it down a nearby well. The old man then issues further warning about the nature of the beast. John then forgets about the creature and eventually grows up. As a penance for his rebellious years, he joins the Crusades. Eventually, the worm grows extremely large and the well becomes poisonous. The villagers start to notice livestock going missing and discovers that the fully grown worm has emerged from the well and coiled itself around a local hill. Earlier and local versions of the legend associate the hill with Worm Hill in Fat Hills. That doesn't matter. The worm terrorizes the nearby village, eating sheep, preventing cows from producing milk, and snatching away small children. It heads towards Lambton Castle, where Lord Lambton, John's father, manages to sedate the creature in what becomes a daily ritual of offering the worm milk of 9 good cows. Don't know why that matters.
Okay.
Yep. A number of brave villagers try to kill the beast but are quickly dispatched. When a chunk is cut off the worm, it simply reattaches the missing piece. Visiting knights also try to assault the beast, but none survive. When annoyed, the worm uproots trees by coiling the tail around them and creates devastation by waving around the uprooted trees like a club. So, after 7 years, John Lambton returns from the Crusades to find his father's estate almost destitute because of the worm. John decides to fight it, but seeks the guidance of a wise woman or witch near Durham. The witch hardens John's resolve to kill the beast by explaining his responsibility for the worm. She tells him to cover his armor in spearheads and fight the worm in the River Wear, where it now spends its days wrapped around the giant rock. The witch also tells John that after killing the worm, he must then kill the first living thing he sees, or else his family will be cursed for 9 generations and will not die in their beds. John prepares his armor according to the witch's instructions and arranges with his father that when he has killed the worm, he will sound his hunting horn 3 times. On this signal, his father is to release his favourite hound, so that he will run to John, who he can kill the dog, thus avoid the curse. John Lambton then fights the worm by the river. The worm tries to crush him, wrapping him in its coils, but it cuts itself on his armor spikes. This pierces the worm, who falls into the river and is washed away before they can join up again. Eventually, the worm is dead, and John sounds his hunting horn 3 times. Unfortunately, John's father is so excited that the beast is dead that he forgets to release the hound and rushes out to congratulate his son. John cannot bear to kill his father, and so after they meet, the hound is released and dutifully dispatched. But it is too late, and 9 generations of Lambtons are cursed, so they shall not die peacefully in their beds.
I love that. It sounds like a giant anaconda to me. That sounds like, giant snake running around.
It's just his dad's an idiot. He
had
one job.
You had one job. One job.
Let the dog out, and then we'll all be happy. And then everything will be happy days.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? You cursed everybody. Thanks a lot. Jeez, I love that. That's a great story. So, before we wind up, I got one for you, my friend. This one is awesome. So, this is in Wisconsin. This is called Haunchyville. Yes, Haunchyville. An urban legend set deep in the dense forest of Waukesha County near Muskego in Wisconsin. According to the myth, a group of circus dwarves revolted against their abusive ringmaster and murdered him, and retreated to the woods to build a hidden to-scale village.
There wasn't 7 of them, was there?
No, there wasn't. I don't know how many they were. There's enough, I guess. They murdered. This is the evil 7 dwarves. So the grim tale describes the founders of enclave of a short-statured folks who now aggressively guard their own territory against outsiders. And legend states that if trespassers are caught by the residents, the little people will saw the intruders in half, and forced to live as one of them. So basically, basically they catch you, Liam. They saw you in half, so you're their height, and then you're forced to live with them. Now, come on. This is great. We got a worm guy going on. There is also, supposedly, they are protected by this giant hermit who has a shotgun. And the story goes that he stumbled upon the village and he wasn't prejudiced against the dwarves or little people. And he decided to raise and shelter them and protect them. So basically, you go into this place, and there's a bunch of little people, and there's a hermit with a shotgun, and if you go near them, he'll shoot you, or they'll catch you and cut you in half, take off your legs and everything like that, and then you have to live with them. Yeah.
That's different.
And I spoke to some people who have gone, you know, it's a wide open area you can go to. And it's right now like suburbs, you know. So it's like a little suburb community with some nice homes and everything. But people have claimed that they've heard these little people, like, I don't know, roaming about. Some people have said they have seen the hermit with the shotgun. Now, this does not say when this happened. I believe it happened like in the 50s or 60s or something like that when circuses were popular. There also is someone, I believe, did as a joke. There's a stop sign, and instead of the stop sign, you know, on top of the post, it's like way down, like near the bottom of the post. So it's like for, you know, a person who would be a small person, like 2 or 3 feet tall, could see the stop sign at their level. Yeah, so that's one of my favorites. Little Haunchyville. That's still today in Wisconsin. If you lived in Wisconsin long enough, you've heard the tale of Haunchyville, and people do go to visit it. Supposedly, too, whether this is believable or not, they've put like a little Haunchyville village. Now, someone would have to do that. I don't know who, but there's like little doors, and there's like a little village, and, you know, people don't go near it. They respect it. They've taken pictures of it. It's an all fun. I don't think it's fun to be captured and cut in half or shot if you try to mess with these little people. But okay, that's a good urban legend to stay away from. So yeah, I love that one. So remember that one.
It sounds like, because obviously they've started making horror versions of all the old Disney stories, haven't they? Like there's a Pinocchio one, Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh. That genuinely sounds like it could be a Snow White one somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure someone has already done it. If not, it's in the works. I mean,
Definitely.
Come on.
Definitely.
Somebody's running around. Awesome. So, Liam, as always, you know, it's been so much fun to have you, and you are welcome back on the show anytime. I gave you a bunch of good stories, so when you listen to this, you can be like, hey, that's right. John gave me a lot of good ones. I could, you know, research and take a look at which one I'd like to do. Yeah, so absolutely love it. Thank you so much for taking the time out, and good luck to England in the World Cup.
Thank you for having me again. I've really enjoyed it. I can't wait to listen back, and I'm going to have to make a list myself of all them ones that I hadn't heard of, because there was a lot more than I thought.
And before we go, obviously, Liam, what do you got coming up? I know you got Weird Wisconsin coming up, which you'll have a blast with. I had him on the show.
That episode's out today.
Oh, that's out today.
Yeah.
I had to look at, I was looking at your content, and I thought it was coming up. Well, that is coming up. It's out today. So I will listen to it. Awesome. How was that? Did you have some fun?
Yeah, it was really good. Really good. I enjoyed it. It's a cool guy.
So you learned about Wisconsin and how weird we are, right?
No weirder than I am, so.
There you go. So other than that coming out today, what else you got coming up that we can look forward to, me and my spooky friends?
Well, lots of episodes, lots of good guests. Hopefully more paranormal investigations out on Spooky Shed podcast
Yes.
YouTube channel, so people can find that. There's a few up there now, so yeah, lots of good stuff coming up. Lots of investigations,
Awesome.
lots of talking to people like yourself about all the weird and wonderful things in this strange world that we live in.
Yes, especially urban legends, which are the best. So again, thank you, Liam. This was awesome. And your friend Tommy, I've had him on. He'll be coming out too. I love my UK brothers because you guys have the best stories and you're super fun and bring a lot of joy to this podcast. By the way, you will see today I'm over 200 episodes. And I'm going to celebrate all my friends who have been on there. And you obviously are one of my spooky friends that I will be putting out all this month that you can check out. And please go to the Spooky Shed. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel, his Instagram. What else you got they can subscribe to?
We're on Facebook, TikTok, and all your usual podcast places.
Do that. Give Liam some love. He deserves this. He has great content. I love listening to you in my car when I'm driving back and forth to work. I have a long commute, so I listen to a lot of stuff, and obviously you're top of the list. And so much fun. And you're welcome back anytime. And maybe we can do a deep dive on one of these urban legends and figure it out for ourselves.
The hands, I think that's one we need to dive into, is them hands.
Yes, hairy hands grabbing steering wheels. So please, if you're in the UK and you're driving down the area, reach out to Liam and myself at Dairyland Frights and the Spooky Shed podcast. Leave something in the comments if that's happened to you. If you've been in that area and hairy hands grab your wheel, we would love to hear about it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much again, and stay spooky.